Hello YouTube, what is going on? It is Epic Big Bird. I've got some more Rome 2 Total War Online commentary for you today, as usual. Today in this battle, I have chosen Carthage once again. We're exploring our Carthage builds. We're facing off against Bactria, and this battle is probably one of my favorite battles this week, at least. I think it was very interesting exchange and outcome, so I hope you guys enjoy. I'll go into the tactical view so we can get a look at my army and my opponents. Today I have fielded on my front line 6 sets of mercenary Balearic slingers with a silver experience chevron. I cannot remember what money funds this was at, guys. I'm sorry, but I don't believe it was at large like I usually play. Anyways, then I have fielded with me 4 sets of Libyan infantry. I've also brought with me 2 sets of Libyan peltists, and then 4 sets of African pikemen, and 4 noble cavalry. And my opponent, who has fielded a Bactrian army today, has brought with him 2 sets of Indian armored war elephants, 2 Bactrian horse archers, 2 Greek ballistas, 5 Eastern slingers, 5 thorax pikemen, and 4 Bactrian noble horse. Now, it's a pretty formidable army. Like I said, I was pretty impressed with his build. That's a pretty strong Bactria build. I don't generally fight against ballista units or artillery units for that matter. I forgot to ask the rules of this battle, so I ended up, facing these ballistas, and I felt that his build was very strong because of these. It was forcing me. These ballistas are going to set up and just start raking in kills. If I don't deal with them, they'll easily get 100 kills and pay for themselves. However, his army is pretty strong. He has 2 Bactrian horse archers that would be a problem if they got to my flank in a melee. These 4 Bactrian noble horse wouldn't really be an issue against my noble cav, but it'd be a grind out. It'd be a tough fight, and with these Indian armored elephants, he would be able to either easily wipe the infantry engagement or the cavalry engagement, and so really an advance isn't really an option. So I'm going to have to, my first maneuver is going to either have to be to remove his mobility and then his ballistas, or his ballistas first and then his mobility. That's really my only option. I can't assault his main infantry body, otherwise his elephants would tear my army to shreds. And you can see we've only been playing for like maybe 2 minutes, and his Greek ballistas are already they've already combined killed 100 men. And I'm believing he's targeting my mercenary Balearic slingers because they're my most expensive unit I fielded, so that's smart. He's doing a lot of damage. You can see here that all of this damage is from artillery shot. There you can see it coming in. And really what I'm trying to use my slingers to do right now is to take out these horse archers first, so my skirmishers can basically have the field unopposed. I'm not worried about his noble horse, because I know like I said earlier, my noble cavalry will beat them in a melee. His horse archers, however, have the edge, the extended ability that they can also charge into melee. They're a very quick melee striker, makes them very useful against my slingers. So I need to at all times have some kind of guard against that for my slingers. And you can see here I have an attack order issued on their horse archers. There I pull them back, but you can see I'm backing them up with my noble cav. And you can see here, it looks like my opponent's realizing, or he's going to try and take advantage of his mobility edge here, or so he thinks. I'm going to screen this move with my general's noble cav. You can see he gets his abilities. They get trample charges popped over here, and my general gets good charges into these Bactrian noble horse, which aren't going to stand a chance against noble horse. My two noble cav over here pin all four of his Bactrian noble cav in the charge, which is ideal for me. That's exactly what I wanted to do. It was a perfect screen. My opponent could have avoided it by splitting off those cavalry. You can see here he tries to pull out with most of his cav, but due to that he starts to take losses. I charge my general in there thinking that another shock cav charge will rout those Bactrian noble horse, and I can see his Indian armored war elephants coming into the distance, the horizon. I have my Libyan peltists forming up, trying to deal with the Indian armored elephants. Still trying to crack those horses to save my, still trying to crack the noble horse to save my own, but it doesn't happen in time. You can see I get away with one beaten up noble cav, and I'm sending them on a suicide mission towards the Greek ballista. They're already beaten up, they're tired from fighting, but they're confident. And you can see he sees what's happening. He's trying to scramble, he's trying to screen to act against that, but my noble horse are going to win. Here you can see my African pikes were formed in pike wall, and his Indian armored war elephants plow right through them. I was really impressed by that, actually. I thought it was really cool. Honestly, it was my mistake there. You can see my pikes were in two-man thin lines, two-man deep lines. That is not enough stopping power to stop these Indian armored war elephants. So that was actually a really good decision by my opponent to charge through that line. And then he slipped right behind with what's left of his Bactrian noble horse. So this is a really big problem. His Indian elephants are, once again, my really expensive slingers. You can see I managed to run them amok though, with all of my slingers combined, and I'm bringing it forward what's left of my sword or my infantry army to try and kill them before they can do any more damage. But there you see they trample a Balearic slinger, and we finally bring them down. And if we take a look over here, our glorious noble cav, who is now a silver chevroned unit, has killed both of the Greek ballista units. We'll get a look at how much damage they did at the end of the match. You can see here he's trying to deal with them with his slingers. Instead of pulling them out, I decide, like I said, to sacrifice them in a glory charge, do as much damage as they can to these units. He pulls away with his thorax pikes, which I thought was interesting, and I almost rout these slingers, which would have been awesome, but due to the combined fire, these noble cav are going to go down, but they are going to fight almost to the last man. So very proud of those noble cav. They did a very important decisive element there, killing those Greek ballista. So pretty much the playing field is even. We have both no more infantry, and we have, well, somewhat of a skirmishing edge. He has a lot more skirmishers than I do, but these are Eastern slingers. These Eastern slingers aren't the greatest slingers. Low armor, low health, low morale, low damage. And my Balearic slingers, although beaten up, are I still have a decent amount of them. I have about a unit combined, maybe. You can see here he's deciding he's gonna just forget about my Balearic slingers, and I'm going to try and focus fire on each of these Eastern units. I'm trying to do as much damage as I can to those slingers. Due to these thorax pikes, I'm pretty sure these thorax pikes are better than my African pikes. But that doesn't even really matter, because you can see here the majority of my army is made out of Libyan infantry, which is a sword unit. So a head-on frontal charge is never really an option on pikes. You can see here what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pin the flank in place, and then with my pikes and then flank around with my swords. You can see he tries to shift to compensate for that, for my movements, and I decide to just charge his pikes to try and hold them in place, like I said, like while sending my infantry around the flank. My slingers are actually doing damage against his own eastern slingers, like I said, due to their low armor and health. So we've already cut these guys down by 10 men. These guys are now dead, or almost routing, and but however, we have lost all of our pikes. We have gotten our Libyan infantry into an engagement here with his thorax pikes in between the Greek ballistas, and due to the Greek ballistas, his thorax pikes are having a hard time forming up. And my Libyan infantry is actually winning decisively. Over here I catch his thorax pikes again out of formation, but if they form up, this could be a problem. He finally realizes how dangerous my mercenary Balearic slingers are still, and decides to finally fire back. But like I said, my Balearic slingers are way better than his eastern slingers, and they will be able to fight for a while against those eastern slingers. You can see here, this is not a good decision by my opponent. He's chasing the thorax, he's running these thorax pikes towards my Libyan peltasts to try and run them away. I will just be able to pull them off, and then when they turn around, I'll throw javelins in their rear. You can see here our Libyan infantry are losing now, but they're still pinned up against this ballista unit, and it's still messing with these thorax pikemen's formation, so he's still fighting pretty decently. They're holding out pretty okay. Here I got my Libyan infantry freed up from their engagement with the thorax pikes into the rest of his slingers. And over here, my Libyan infantry actually managed to rout their first thorax pikeman. There you can see I pulled this thorax pikeman around the engagement with these other Libyan infantry. I just simply did not want him to engage. You can see there he turns back to try and help the engagement, so I will charge since his rear is now facing me. And there you can see his Bactrian spears rout, and that'll be the battle. So that was a really good battle, good game to my opponent. I haven't had a close battle like that in a while, and I thought the ending was very interesting. So what I think went well in that game, and what I think didn't go well, I think my cavalry maneuvering went really well. That was a really decisive moment in the battle when I was able to pin all 4 of his noble bloods, or his Bactrian noble horse, all on the charge. That did a lot of damage to them and really helped me even the tide. If I wouldn't have been able to split off that cavalry unit to deal with his ballistas, that probably would have been game over as well. Granted, they might have been out of ammo, but you can see right here they each easily broke 100 kills, almost 250 combined. So that's a pretty good amount of kills. You can see here though, we literally destroyed his Bactrian noble horse and his Bactrian horse archers. We effectively neutered, or both of them, we made them both really cost ineffective, so that's really good. And his elephants though did moderately well. As far as our army goes, our slingers actually did not so well, but the kills that they did get were very important. Like I said, the horse archers, and then those slingers at the end. My pikes did nothing at all, and my Libyan infantry did well again. So I really think that these Libyan infantry are a better sword unit than I thought in the past. They're quite formidable actually. Morale's not the best, but if you get them in good engagements, they work well. And again, my Balearic slingers, I'm kind of a fan of the slinger now. If I'm not using javelins, I'll probably be using all slingers. So yeah, definitely use slingers in your builds if you want to be removing skirmishing edges. They have pretty decent armor penetration and pretty decent damage. So hope you guys like this video. This has been Epic Big Bird. Have a good day.